So we built Convesio with this idea that we were going to be cloud agnostic. And in fact, the vision originally was, and I think still is a future state for us, that we'll be omni-cloud in the sense that you could potentially run solutions in multiple cloud providers for the same site. So if you need ultra redundancy, you have presences with different infrastructure providers. And so we never went the route of a lot of our competitors and adopted the internal services of AWS and Google, which made us incredibly agile in the fact that we were like, we want to partner with lots of different providers. Maybe we go with an economy provider, a high performance provider, depending on what people need. So what we quickly found out though was everyone in some respect uses the same people we're using. So, if you look at companies like Kinsta, WP Engine, they're big Google Cloud providers. They're using the exact same instances to host their clients that Convesio is. And so it was really hard to differentiate from a hardware perspective from the dozens to hundreds of other hosting providers that were out there. And my team is obsessive about performance. So it's not like we can go to Google or AWS and say, hey, can you guys, put up these instances for us or this technology for us? If it's not there as part of the menu of solutions, it's not an option. And so we started to eventually look around at how can we really differentiate from a hardware perspective. So I think we knew when we were probably a year into our relationship with Google that it wasn't ideal, but we really didn't know where to go, right? We didn't, and I think we also knew that inherently we weren't going to get the level of innovation and partnership that we want with a large scale cloud provider, right? And we started talking to sort of the next level down of cloud providers. So, we went from AWS to Google to DigitalOcean to Vultr to some other smaller independent cloud providers. And with all of those, it was really the same model. And the model is you're getting VPSs provisioned at a hyperscaler. And we never really had private clouds on our radar until a friend of mine introduced me to OpenMetal. And we basically started looking into this. And I was really a novice on how private clouds worked. And so when we started learning about the private cloud, it was sort of this idea that, wow, we could actually have a solution that kind of put us in the driver's seat at the same level of redundancy and structure as these hyperscalers have, but we could have full control over it with the ability to customize it. And so when I really learned about this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is magic. But there was a problem. That problem was none of my team knew anything about this technology. And we immediately could tell it was way over our level of expertise. And so it's kind of like you see the solution in front of you, but you're like, we can't actually do anything with it. And because it's so far, I would never have dreamt of setting this up myself and running production workloads on it because there's so many unknowns. The technology was so new. We needed someone who was an expert at this that we could trust. And that's really what we found with OpenMetal. So, it would be just unfathomable for us to do a private cloud solution like this without doing it through OpenMetal, given the level of support and expertise that your team has. And the execution of that was flawless. We basically met with the team, scoped out what a solution would look like, and when we deployed our first clusters, everything just worked perfectly. And in many ways, we got what we wanted, which was customization, innovation, and performance. But we got it with almost no bumps in the road, right? I mean, the deployment, there was some tweaking that we had to do to optimize the state of how we deploy our clusters, but it worked really, really well out of the gate. And that was all because of the level of comfort and expertise the OpenMetal team has with providing this solution.